So let's talk about Moon Boy first of all.
Yeah.
Obviously, filming back in your hometown, was this just an excuse so that you could just go back and hang out with your family and friends for a while?
Don't tell anybody, but yeah, pretty much. It was good. When I decided to write a show set at home, I think a big draw was to force myself to go home and see my mother a lot more. And that's worked out really well.
How much is he like you when you were 12? Did you actually ever give mouth-to-mouth resuscitation to a dead sparrow, for example?
He's far more charming than I am, or was, certainly. But he's a lot shorter. I was a massive child. I was 6 foot when I was 11. And as my mother would say, it just took me a while to grow into my face. So I was unattractive, bad posture, and I would essentially ring a bell to warn women that I was coming. And it was at that period that I learned that being funny was helpful.
How hard was it, do you think, to capture the spirit of childhood?
Between the ages of kind of 10 and 14, my recollection of childhood is very prescient, very, very clear. Like after that, for some reason, I can't remember a thing. I'm pretty sure it's when drink became involved. But at that period, I remember all of those experiences like they were yesterday.
It strikes me, looking at the things you've done, Bridesmaids, obviously the thing that really propelled you to international stardom, and Girls. A lot of the projects you've worked on have been either written by women, produced by women, or have a very, very strong female cast. Mm-hmm. Is that something that you've intentionally got? Is that route you've intentionally gone down, or is it just something you've fallen into?
I think it's a bit of both. I think I come from a matriarchal family, as you can see in Moon Boy. You know, I had 3 older sisters and a very strong-willed mother, and so I feel very comfortable working with women and being bullied by women. And so I think that there's part of that, like I just don't mind that, whereas some men feel weird about being ordered around by women. I'm very used to it. Bridesmaids
really brought international stardom on paper, but how did your life actually change, or was it exactly the same? You're still able to go down to the corner shop and buy a bottle of milk?
I remember the weekend it came out, I went to a bar, like I was in California at the time. 3 or 4 hours later, I was still there. But the people that had been in the bar and gone and seen the movie and come back, I was a different person to them. Like I was suddenly, you know, in this massive movie that kind of people knew at the time was going to be a big thing. So it did feel very instantaneous. Like it was bizarre.
Can you remember the first time someone asked you for your autograph?
Wow, that was probably a good while ago. Like that must have been maybe 7 or 8 years ago, and felt great. I think there's a good chance it was one of my siblings. Which was kind.
Payback for all those years of bullying.
Yes. Yeah, so it was pretty nice.
And you're doing you're now doing a lot more stage stuff as well. Do you see that as the direction that your career might go?
Hopefully what the direction will be splintered, and I just do loads of different kinds of things. I'm excited. I start on Broadway in a few weeks, doing Mice and Men, and hopefully I'll enjoy that, but I've no idea. I've never done it before. So I kind of might just get in after the first day go, this is the worst experience of my life. But that's what's exciting about it.
Are you scared? Because it's
terrified.
So different to what you have done. I'm sure you'll be good, but what if it bombs? What will you do?
It would be a lot of crying. Crying and drinking, I would presume. But I guess we'll see.
Finally, if you were able to look back at your 12-year-old self, do you think he would ever have imagined what your life has become and what you now are?
I think he'd be... You know, I think that one of the things I love about Moon Boy is that Martin has picked an imaginary friend that he sees himself as in 20 years' time. And that essentially is a mid-level insurance salesman. So I think he'd be impressed with how well he's turned out.
Well, exactly. Yeah. A comedian.
Yeah. And he's a man that's kissed over 8 women.
What, you are the imaginary friend.
Me.
That's quite a claim to fame.
I know.
He'd be pleased.
Nearly 8.5.
We won't ask about the half.
Sure.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.